Hi, I'm Michael Senoff, founder and CEO of HardToFindSeminars.com. For the last 5 years, I've interviewed the world's best business and marketing minds. Now my challenge is to build the world's largest free resource for online, downloadable audio business interviews. I've learned a lot in the last 5 years, and today I'm going to show you the skills you need to survive. Your market has all your answers. Your market's telling you that the value isn't there. If the value was there, they'd whip out $10 and give it to you. These people are spending money more than $10 on other stuff that maybe appeals to them more. You've got talent to create stuff. It just may be your style. The time hasn't come, or maybe you're not hitting a nerve. To find these answers of what it is, you're going to have to be real open-minded. You're going to have to be tough to listen to criticism. But your market will tell you, your customers, your fan base will tell you what they want. Hi, it's Michael Senoff with Michael Senoff's HardToFindSeminars.com. Here's an hour consult with a gentleman named Jason. Jason is a musician and has created an album, somewhat of a hip-hop album, new age, and he called me looking for ideas and inspiration and marketing advice on how he could market himself better and ultimately sell more albums. We discussed a lot of things. It was a very interesting interview for me because I learned a lot about the music industry, and he's definitely a very talented kid. I give him some ideas on how to make his marketing more succinct, more memorable, and I think it's a pretty interesting interview. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's get going. I have gone to your site. I've taken a look at it. I've listened to some of your audio clips and what you do. Tell me who you are, where you're from, what you do, what you're trying to accomplish, and where you feel like you're having some challenges.
My name is Jason Flatman. I'm from Iowa City, Iowa, and what I'm trying to do is find a way to uniquely market my product, which is a music disc. It's upbeat hip-hop kind of style of music, and I have found that the normal do a show, promote your CD in front of a bunch of people and sell it isn't producing the kind of results that I want, and it's not doing anything to distinguish me from the millions of other musicians who have a CD out right now.
Tell me a little bit about your passion for music and your history, how long you've been involved in it, how'd you get into it?
I've been involved with it for about 8 years, and it wasn't until about 3 years ago that I really stepped it up and took it seriously and took complete control of it, meaning that I've learned how to play instruments, I learned how to actually produce the music, mix it and record it, and I learned how to do all of it because I wasn't getting any help anywhere else, and that's always what had held me back. And once I learned how to take control of my own destiny, so to speak, then all of a sudden my whole mind state changed, and that's how I've been approaching my whole life now, is where I just no attitude. If something needs to be done, I like to think I'm the guy that would go out there and learn how to do it, and then learn how to do it well after I learned how to do it to get to that next point. And so with my music, when I took it to that next level, I literally spent 12, 14 hours a day working on it, teaching myself, and then applying that teaching right away. At that point in time, I saved up a bunch of money so I could quit my job and produce the CD.
What was your job?
I was a floor covering salesman. I sold carpet flooring, hardwood, and stuff like that. So I was in retail sales, and it was a really good job, and I was pretty good at it, but it wasn't my passion. And so once I quit that, I had a lot of money saved up, and I thought, well, I'm going to make this CD, and then I'll sell it. That'll be enough to help sustain me. At that point in time, I was just so concentrating on making the product. I didn't even take into account marketing the product.
Was this your first CD?
Yes, this was my first one, professionally made and manufactured and everything. Yeah, I never took into the account of actually how hard it would be to sell a CD. And one of the reasons I think it's so hard is because with information and technology the way it is, nowadays there's so many people that have their own product out there that are trying to get it. There's not really a filter anymore. Like, I listen to a lot of recordings about people, they say, you want filters. Filters are good because it helps get the crap out of there. But there's not as many filters, and so it's easy to get lost in the mass of what everybody else is doing. And so I'm trying to distinguish the ways to get out of this. So I thought I've had a lot of different ways. I want to be able to sustain a living off my music without any other job. And I came to the conclusion that the quickest way to do that isn't going to be through merchandise sales so much as it is through some other unique ways of marketing myself, and that's where my expertise, or finding the market that people are willing to pay me for my services more so than buy my CD or my product, so to speak.
Let's talk about your market. What style of music did you create?
It's hip-hop, but it's not like the traditional rap that you would hear on the radio, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not what I do. It has a kind of a niche, so to speak, to it, but it's really upbeat, mainly what people tell me when they hear it, and the people that have bought it for me, my fans, they all say it makes them feel good. It makes them put a smile on their face because it's just kind of carefree, it's light, and it's easy to take in, but yet there's some intelligence done, too. It's not just kind of hokey. It's something at the end of the day you can get something from. Based on what I've learned from my shows and the information I took in, that my market, primarily of the people that are my fans, are 20 to 25. They're usually female. They're usually people that are like more into the alternative and more into finding something that they can identify with individually as in something that everybody else likes. So they're kind of more into the alternative things than the mainstream popular thing. I have a good idea of my audience as far as my fans go, but at the same time, you know, like I listen to some of your recordings, you can't create demand if it's not there, or you can find something where people demand you, but they're not necessarily going to buy anything. So you might have a good market that's just not a buying market. And so what I found is, this is ridiculous, Michael. I'll play a show for 150 people. I'll just completely level the place. I'll have people come up to me and tell me, they say, wow, you're like one of the best performers I've ever seen locally or whatever, but they won't buy my CD.
So when you do your show with your band, you're doing the tracks on your CD?
Yeah, I'll actually perform by myself, and the way I approach it is I take the philosophy of, well, a stand-up comedian only has a microphone, and somehow he entertains the crowd. I only have a microphone, and I have a backing track, and I actually have an audio-visual guy. But I'm the man on stage, and so what I do is I take my music off the CD and I make it unique. I have a really knack for, naturally, just for interaction with the crowd, bringing them in and making the live experience special. And I've experimented with lots of ways to try to sell. I was in retail sales. I have a pretty good understanding of it to try to get people to buy my CD, and it's produced some more sales. But ultimately, I think that the best way for me to get to where I want to be now is doing something else as my main source of income, more so than paying gigs. Because I get paid to do shows, but it's not really anything more than I can make with a regular job. And I think viral marketing is a big part of the music. Like if you get the right people to buy your CDs and they tell their friends and they buy it, but it's a slow process.
All right, so you'll do a show for 150. Who pays you for the shows, like local places?
Usually the guy that books the show or the promoter, the head of the club. Some of them pay you up front. Some of them pay you a percentage out of how many people come in. A thing I've been experimenting lately, and I kind of emailed to you, is doing more house shows. And this is something that interested me. It's like you want to treat your customer the best way possible in order to sell them. And so, like, I play at some of these places where, like, if you took a picture of the bathroom, Michael, and I showed it to you, you just say, I don't want to go there. I don't want my customers to go there necessarily either. And that was what led me to think of a different way. I have the sound equipment, and I have a van so I could transport it. And I've seen a couple musicians do it on a low-key level, and I've done it myself on a low-key level, but we actually come to the person in the house. We come to their house, we set it up, they pay me to play, and then their responsibility to bring people into their house. And you only play for maybe 50 people.
Hi, it's Michael Senoff with HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. You know, many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini-seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at HardToFindSeminars.com. So go right now to HardToFindSeminars.com and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching.